Oh wow, when was the last time I did one of these? Anyway, Destroyus the Unforgiving versus the World, Part 1. It's really been a long time since I've done these. Remember when I used to do these every day? Oh, fun times. Yeah, every day. Oh, God, my voice has gone terrible today. But it goes terrible on every single video I do. Normally I'm completely fine. Anyway, it all started that one fateful day, the day that would change the world. The world was at the mercy of Destroyus the Unforgiving, all the cities of the world at his feet. Robots were flying everywhere, burning stuff up for no real reason. Finally, world domination was within his almighty grasp. Derek, supper's on the table, his mum Susan shouted. Susan was a snail with blonde hair and pink teeth who wore a heavy metal themed t-shirt. Derek put down his toy robots and went down to eat his yogurt. Derek Smith was an ordinary snail with glasses, and he could talk. Don't ask how. In these stories everyone can talk, so why shouldn't he? He was kind-hearted, always helping old ladies across the road, cats out of trees, and old ladies out of trees, and he loved robots. He hated injustice, which led to him becoming the villain of this tale. I hate injustice, he said, just to prove the point. I have to, it says so on the page. So, Derek, said Susan, when are you going to become a villain? For the last time, I don't want to be a villain, Mum, Derek said. But you have to take over the family business, said Susan. I killed your father to get it. It's a business that's been around for over 3,000 years. It's 1398 right now. You know how long that's been? Yeah, I know, you tell me every time, yelled Derek. Susan ignored him. Besides, you'll be the main villain of Henry VIII versus robots. You literally have to. The story says so. Derek stomped off up to bed, where he was greeted by a strange sight. Derek, a voice said, come here, or I will kill your dad. But he's already dead, said Derek, confused. Oh yeah, said the voice, which was smoother than a marble polished by a man called Jim who had 20 pet cats that were all named Dave. Well, if you're doing my voice, he sounds like a 50-year-old who smokes a pack a day. Jim stank of cat wee at all times, as he had been weed on by a magic dog called Larry once. Also, how did you get in my room? Your mum let me in, said the voice. The owner of the voice dramatically revealed themselves, not coming from the shadows like Derek had thought, but just stepping out of his t-shirt drawer in a manner wobblier than Gary the trampoline when his girlfriend left him for that indoor swimming pool. I am Horatio the unicorn, and I come to impart an important message. Oh, you're the unicorn from Heavy 8 vs. Robots, said Derek. Clever me spotting the cameo. My boyfriend asked me to tell you to become the villain of Henry VIII vs. Robots, said Horatio, slurring his words a little. It's in the rules. My drunken hick sounds terrible. I can't do a drunken hick at all. Are you drunk? Asked Derek. No, said Horatio, who was stumbling around and had pulled out what was clearly his 23rd beer. You are, said Derek, I can tell. Come back when you're sober. Also, I don't want to be a villain. Let me show you some injustice then, said Horatio, snatching Derek and taking him to Australia, then immediately taking him back. What was that for? Asked Derek. I took a wrong turning, admitted Horatio bashfully. Then he took Derek to a pub. Give me a drink, said Horatio. Oh, I forgot my voice. Give me a drink, said Horatio to the bartender, who was a walnut named Rowan. Rowan was a master at nunchucks, and his favourite hobby was smashing nunchucks against buildings that he had set on fire. No, said Rowan. Go home, sir, you are drunk. I'm not drunk, shouted Horatio, which was true. He wasn't drunk, he was very drunk. So you're clearly more inebriated than a badger called Tilly who came in an hour ago. How dare you, screamed Horatio, goring Rowan with his horn, which turned into a drill and shot fireballs at him for good measure. Also, who likes my voice acting? Comment down below if you like my voice acting. Rowan screamed that a talking unicorn was unrealistic, even though he was a talking walnut, as he shattered into 1,000 pieces, which all ended up becoming kings of their own countries and waging war against each other. Derek knew it was 1,000 pieces as he counted them later. Horatio then turned to Derek. See that injustice right there? You refuse to give me a drink, yelled Horatio, snatching up all the drinks that Rowan had been guarding, plus conjuring up some of his own for good measure. Wasn't the injustice that you were assaulting a minor character? Derek said, as confused as a clown called Callum. No, of course not, Horatio replied indignantly. You're way nicer than Henry VIII versus robots, Derek muttered. I want to go home. Off-screen character development, Horatio shrugged as he killed a shrew called Oscar who was eating an ice cream he found in a bin in Scotland. Sorry, no reeking. Do you have any idea how tiring it is to do that voice? Derek felt a flash of anger at the senseless violence against minor characters. He decided at that moment that he would do anything, to liberate them from their torment. They deserve to be free from their oppressors. This could not stand. I'll set up a charity to help minor characters, he blurted out, surprised at himself. Wow, strange. I thought I was going to be the villain of this story. Oh, for God's sake, Derek. This is meant to be a prequel about your rise to villainy, Horatio cried, stamping all four of his feet, plus a fifth one he'd grown for the sole purpose of dramatically stamping. Derek ignored him and walked home, trying to find a name for his charity that would change the world. In the morning, Derek headed off to the streets to start fundraising for his charity, which was named Kill the Oppressors. It was a name that had taken an hour that felt like 5 minutes, because it was 5 minutes, to come up with the name. It had been late at night, so Derek hadn't realised that the name might annoy a couple of people. He headed to the building that was his new headquarters, which had formerly been owned by a man named Paul Townsend who had travelled through time. Derek had taken ownership of the building by building a tent there and camping for the night. As according to Plugsocket Town law, anyone who squatted on someone else's property for 12 hours without being caught got to take control of the property. He'd gone home earlier to have his breakfast, and along the way ended up fighting a monster that didn't exist but was threatening to destroy the world. But that story was boring, so I won't bother telling it. Grabbing a pen and paper, he headed out with his questionnaire, but was stopped by something strange. It was another version of him, wearing an evil-looking mask. I am Destroyus, the Unforgiving, it boomed. I am your alternate dimension counterpart, come to liberate background characters from their suffering. Same, Derek said. How about we work together? No, you must die for the good of our future, Destroyus thundered. Oh man, that sucks, Derek whined, preparing to meet his end, then was confused when it didn't come. Go on, kill me then. Now is not the time. I must transport you to my overly elaborate evil lair, where we shall do battle amidst the overpriced decor. The salesman overcharged me for the curtains alone. I mean, they look pretty nice next to the laser target death trap I had installed last week. Destroyus went on about his interior design for a solid 3 hours, until Derek finally snapped. I've literally just lost all respect for you as a villain, he said. Mars looks pretty intimidating, but no self-respecting villain should be bragging about their crimson toilets or the conditions their laser tigers live in. Ahem, Destroyus continued as if nothing had happened. Follow me. Don't think I want to if you're going to kill me, Derek muttered, but like an idiot he followed anyway.